Okay, next we're going to talk about analyzing data. I'm going to draw a graph here, and we are going to talk about a hypothetical experiment that we are testing to see how much water it takes for a particular species of tree to grow the fastest and the best. So we are going to put our two different variables on this graph. First, we're going to start with our independent variable, which is going to be amount of water. Now remember, I said this is the independent variable. That means that it does not rely on anything. It is its own factor. Now, our next is going to be the dependent variable, which we'll say is height of tree. And this is, again, our dependent variable, meaning that it depends on the independent variable. The assumption here, or our hypothesis, is that water will have an impact on the height of our tree, that our tree is going to grow better. Now we're going to go ahead and break up our amount of water, and we'll just say volume of water, and we'll use gallons. We'll just go 1 gallon, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gallons per week. And then for height of the tree, we'll go by feet. 1 foot, 2, 3, 4, and 5 feet. Now again, this is all hypothetical, but let's say that once we run our experiment, we're measuring our trees regularly with each tree that's getting the treatment. So we have trees that are just getting 1 gallon of water a week, and let's say that we're getting dots here somewhere where they're not quite growing a foot. We have one that's grown really well up at 2 feet, but most of them are kind of here maybe around 6 inches, maybe a little over a foot, but they're kind of hanging around this area. Now our next group that we gave 2 gallons a week, let's say that, well, they're maybe a little over a foot, a couple down below, but it's looking kind of similar. Our 3 gallons a week trees, maybe that's where they start to grow really well, and they're between our 2 foot and 3 foot growth. And let's just say that trend continues with our 4 gallons of water a week trees are kind of up over here. Then we get our 5 gallon a week trees. Let's say that they do really well. They're growing well over 4 feet. And we get our 6 gallon a week trees, and they kind of do a little better, but they're very similar. And then finally our 7 gallon a week trees, they're right here again. So we're going to turn on our marker here, and we'll do kind of a lighter color. It looks like from our bottom, that's too big. Let's make this a little smaller here. From our bottom, it looks like it's kind of following an upward trend a little bit, though it's kind of tapering off between these two, where it's starting to level off. But basically, looking at this data, we can look at this graph and say, hey, the more water each week helps our trees grow faster. We can say faster and better. So I hope that makes sense. This analysis is really important, being able to look at these graphs and then being able to take a graph that's given you and be able to see this trend, see if there's any patterns there, to be able to then come up with our conclusionary statement. This one, in this example, more water means healthier trees that are growing.